All right, so there's a Wikipedia quote, and it starts off, there's a page, and it starts off with and what started as a cocaine-fueled trip to see your friend fight, Matt Brown signed up for his first fight within a few hours.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, so it was a friend of mine, his name was Fat Joe, and he was going to fight Wes Sims. And Wes Sims didn't show up, which doesn't really matter. But the other dude, his guy didn't show up. So anyway, this is back in the Wild West when, I mean, you might remember these days when you could just show up and fight. And it was like, you know, you see in movies, guys smoking cigars, betting on the fights. And yeah, I was all coked up and they were like, I heard them say, you know, who wants to fight the champion or, you know, whatever kind of announcement they did. And I was like, I'll fight that motherfucker. Let's go.
So was you high on coke while you was fighting?
Oh yeah.
How was that? Tell me about that.
Well, the fight only lasted like 2 minutes, so it wasn't too bad, you know.
You beat him?
Yeah.
What do you expect?
But I had to like
hyped up.
I had to like go across the street and buy a mouthpiece and buy a cup. There was like a sporting goods store over there, and then there's a restaurant. So I went over there and boiled the mouthpiece in a microwave, you know, come back and did a line in the bathroom before I went out there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You did not.
Like, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Like, you was already why not? I was already.
Yeah.
So you go in the bathroom.
I mean, I was fighting on the street all the time. You know what I mean? Like that's what we did back in the day. And yeah, you'd be all fucked up on whatever. You know, you're used to it.
How old were you?
But you don't think about like you know, like training. Like you think of fighting as like fighting, right? That's why everybody thinks they can fight, right? Because we all did in the streets, and you think it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I tried that again, maybe 2-3 months later, and then I fought a real dude. He was supposed to be going pro, and he beat the fuck out of me. And
he was like, it worked the first time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But he was going pro as a boxer, so I fought him in a kickboxing match because I was like, oh, I could beat him in kickboxing. He's just a boxer, right? And he beat the fuck out of me. And we was talking backstage, and he's like, man. He's like, you're really tough, bro. Like, you need to go train. And he's like, I couldn't knock you out. He's like, I tried everything I could. So then I was like, okay, I want to go to a gym. Then I went to a gym, and that was the end of it, man. That's what the day I walked in that gym was the day my life changed.
So this was before you wasn't even training for these fights?
No, I hadn't trained yet. No.
Damn. How old were you?
I mean, we trained 20, 21.
Yeah.
I mean, we trained like in the backyard and shit, you know what I mean? I watched like Ken Shamrock DVDs.
Some tutorials.
Yeah.
How old were you when you first fought, when you were all hyped up on the sugar?
I said it was like 20, 21, something like that. Yeah.
But was that your first pro fight?
It wasn't pro, it was amateur.
Oh, it was amateur. It was like a smoker.
I mean, I don't know if they were
It was a
considered
snorter.
like
Oh my
yeah, right. Yeah, I wasn't smoking shit. I was snorting.
So your first snorter, you were like in your early 20s.
Like it was like, okay, there's like pro, then amateur, like whatever's below amateur.
Snorters.
That's what it was. Because like I had to pay to fight.
Pros.
It wasn't like amateur, like you just don't get paid. Like I had to actually pay.
You had to pay the fight promotion for you to fight?
Yeah.
How much was it to fight?
Like $30, I think.
What does that get you?
A fight?
Yeah.
What does that pay for?
I got a trophy.
No, you didn't.
I still got it. I found it at my house the other day.
That's incredible. Yeah. What's it say?
Chaos in the Cage champion or some shit like that.
Was that in Ohio?
Yeah, Chillicothe, Ohio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Mark Matheny was the ref.
Oh, cool.
You fought in Ohio, right? Yeah, you fought in Columbus, Ohio. You fought Jardine, right?
I did.
Keith Jardine.
Yeah.
That's the story, remember?
I bet that Mark Matheny was your ref.
Let me get this straight. Before you did your first snorter, were you already training?
No.
Nothing at all. You just were fighting in the streets.
Yeah, like I said, we fought in
but backyards. You loved fighting.
I loved it, yeah.
Got it. And so what made you that day say, hey, it's short notice, I'm going to hop in there? Just that, was it the booger sugar or was it you?
No, it was me.
Right.
Yeah. It was like.
That's a unique choice to do, right? You're in the audience eating kettle corn popcorn and next thing you know, you're in the cage. That's a hard thing for me to fathom.
No, I think like, I don't know, just like insecurities and shit, you know, just like want to prove myself.
Oh yeah, I could see that. That's
you know
sick. I mean? Like, hey, I've been doing this in the streets now. Let's see if I could do it in
the
cage.
Like I could say it like retrospectively, like knowing myself as well as I do now. You know, you learn a lot about yourself in a cage, right?
Yeah.
You know, especially like, you know, I would say for me, like when I got knocked out, that's when I learned the most about myself. I mean, I'd lost before, but it was like, whatever, you know, he didn't fuck me up, you know? And then when I got knocked out, I was like, all the insecurities went out the window. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At the time, Mark Coleman and a lot of the guys in Ohio were putting on a good scene. Did you ever go and meet with those guys?
So I don't know if I call it a good scene. like Coleman was in his heyday, you know what I mean? So my first time I walked into a gym, that was the Hammer House. But there'd never been an actual Hammer House location. He just shows up at the gym and it's a Hammer House.
It's just where he shows up is now it's time for Hammer time.
Yeah. So a bunch of his guys was in there training. That's what I learned from my first day. And that's when I realized I sucked at fighting because, you know, now I'm with actual pros. I was pretty lucky that the guys happened to be in there. Actually, my current coach of today, my Muay Thai coach from my whole career, Dorian Price, I'm sure you guys have heard of him. He was in there, and then there was a couple of guys that were going fighting pro on some show. It was like a really good show. Like Robbie Lawler was on it, Tim Sylvia, you know, all those old school guys from Militich. And I just happened to be around good guys, you know. And then I really got my ass kicked, and I was like, oh, this shit like has technique. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing to get your ass kicked in the cage when you're like, man, if I did this, I would have fucked him up, you know. But when you go into a gym and then you get your ass kicked, and then you got another round. And you're like, okay, I'm going to do this time. And then it happens again. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this time. Then it happens again. And you're like, all right, I fucking suck. I need to learn this shit.